All right, guys, we have a traffic stop with some people on the ground here. So, oh, it's Alcala. How you doing, sir? So they're going through the car. They have this guy handcuffed. That's Deputy Alcala. I'm in my PJs. But, got this guy handcuffed and they're going through the car. Not sure for what. We'll find out. But they've been doing a lot of compliance checks and finding people out of compliance. They had a guy that was on probation or parole, one or the other, but they found he was a felon on probation or parole, and they found guns and drugs and kids in the house. So, you know, it's getting ridiculous. I mean, I don't care what you think about people. When you got your kids around it, I'm sorry, it's... That's too much. So, right over here, if you guys remember last year, June 1st, this is the site of the huge rumble that went down in the street last year. So that was all over the news. Who's this deputy? I don't think I've seen him before. But yeah, so they had a rumble last year right there. They must have found something. They put it on the hood of the car. Are you guys watching the Derek Chauvin trial? So I went to Court TV. I've been following the Derek Chauvin trial on and off. And they talked to the off-duty firefighter that wanted to give George Floyd CPR, and she was denied. Or not, yeah, she wanted to give him chest compressions. That's what she wanted to give him. They don't do mouth-to-mouth anymore. Because of COVID, but she wanted to give him chest compressions, and they wouldn't let her. So she testified today. That was very, very emotional. And then they played the body cameras from Chauvin and Thao and one other officer, and that was really emotional as well. To hear this guy re-dying for, you know, begging for his life all over again. You know, and I know George Floyd wasn't a good guy. He wasn't. He was a bad guy, you know. He was. But regardless of that, no, he didn't do enough to deserve to die begging for his life to the police. You know what I mean? The police, I don't care who you are, the police are there to help you, to serve, you know. Police aren't there to render discipline and take a life just because. You know, people are saying, well, George Floyd this, George Floyd that. You know, so that doesn't justify what the police did. You know, they still committed homicide, in my opinion. Derek Chauvin did. The others aided and abetted, or were an accessory. So I feel Chauvin and Thao should go to prison for a long time. So we're about to see what's going to happen to this guy. Yeah, I was saying earlier about the compliance check. They've been doing compliance checks, finding sexual offenders that aren't registering. They're finding people that are out on parole and probation with guns and drugs, felons. And the one they found, he had kids in the house, little kids. So he's being charged also with child endangerment as felon with handguns and drugs. So for distribution, I believe, I think it was. You know, and the only problem, or I mean, if people use drugs, you know what? I'm not going to judge you. I'm not here to condemn or crucify them. But when they start stealing people's cars, when they start stealing stuff out of people's garages to finance their drug problem, that's when I have an issue. You know, that's what pisses me off. Somebody who's worked hard for their stuff, who's, you know, an honest, law-abiding citizen, and some druggie comes in and steals the car, or rips the stereo out of the car, or pulls the tires off the car to sell them, to get drugs. You know, that's what pisses me off. That's where I draw the line. So that's when I say, I don't care if the police come in and take them away. You know, no matter how you feel about law enforcement, how would you feel about going to work in the morning when you walk outside, there's no car in the driveway, and then you find a couple meth syringes laying on the ground, and you're like, oh, these sons of bees took my car. He ran a stop sign. He ran a stop sign, I think. Put him in the car, he said. They're gonna put him in the car. You know, and I don't know what this guy did. I'm not gonna judge. I know some people would judge the police, but I don't know what this guy did.
How you doing, Jimmy?
How you doing, sir?
I'm alright, you?
Oh, good.
The DUI investigation?
Yeah. We need to get them off the street. I don't know if you heard about the 110 in San Pedro.
No, what
The
happened?
guy, he was going wrong way on the 110 freeway. He killed two people who were just trying to get home.
Oh, really?
Drunken driving. That was, yeah, a couple of nights ago.
I got that checking that.
So it's a possible DUI. I guess he doesn't want to do the field sobriety test, maybe. I don't know. But after what happened on the 110 freeway in San Pedro, yeah, it's, you know, if this guy was drinking and driving, you never know. I don't know. You know, he should just go right to breathalyzer if he wasn't and say, see, I'm good. But, yeah, so I think he was offering him the FST and he didn't want to do it. So we put him in the car. Might call it the Dewey guy. So there you go. And again, that's why I say some people will say, well, you know, how do you think this guy feels about you recording him? How do you think the family of the two people killed last night or the other night on the 110 freeway feel? Especially if they find out the guy was drinking and driving. He's at the hospital, you know. I mean, so he's... Alright guys, so I guess that's probably going to be it. They're probably going to tow the car. I'm not sure. Yeah, they're probably going to tow it. I'm sitting back here. I walked up here, so there's a nice Jeep. So I don't know if they're going to tow the car or what. They're probably gonna take him in. So possible DUI investigation. Yeah, there's nothing they can do about this blocking the lane. I'm pretty stuck here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take off.